And now I'm going to talk about the way you can extend your sample or your plugin libraries, or not the plugin libraries, your generator libraries, maybe your sound libraries a little bit with more. You can increase it with extra instruments, and they are for free. And this is using the MIDI out plugin. And basically, it's a combination of the Fruity LSD and the MIDI out plugin. So this would be a really cool way to use this MIDI out plugin inside of FL Studio without in combination with Fruity LSD, and you will see what I'm talking about. So let's jump into FL Studio again. So I still have here MIDI out, and now let's add the Fruity LSD. To add the Fruity LSD, you have to go to your mixer, because this it's not a virtual instrument here. It's an effect, or it's not the generator, it's an effect. So if we go now here to MISC, we have this Fruity LSD. And by default, if we look at this, we see piano, standard, but we don't see anything. If I click on notes here, you see that I'm clicking on notes, nothing happening. Why? Because this plugin here, this Fruity LSD, extends some of the sounds, some of the MIDI sounds that you have installed in your card. So this is something that we all have in our system. So if you play some MIDI notes in Windows, you will get some sounds, or in your sound card there are some sounds installed. And if I click here, you see there's a bunch of sounds that we can take advantage of. There's actually a lot of sounds that we can use, and for that we have to just connect something to Fruity LSD, and this is where MIDI out comes into play. So as you can see, I have here this port section, and if you look at the hint panel, it says MIDI input port number, and it's on port 1, but we have here port 0. If I move this to port 1, like so, and if I go now to the piano roll, and if I start playing some notes, let me just move these like so. Now we can hear some sounds. And you can see this is the piano. If I play, we have now sound. If I move this to port 0, now we lost sound. If I put it in port 2, we also lose sound. So this is actually something, this plugin here, Fruity LSD, it's not, it's tapping some MIDI notes that we have, or some MIDI devices that we have installed in our computer. This is not sound that is coming in from FL Studio. So it's not samples that we have installed in FL Studio that is creating, or a synth that is creating these noises, no, or these sounds. This is MIDI instruments that we all have installed in our system, in our sound boards. And it's very easy. You just put it MIDI out, and now we have a bunch more plugins that we can use. So let's go ahead through some of the plugins that we have here, or the sounds. As you can see, sounds good. Let's see this Wonky Tonk. That's a funny name. Let's see this electric piano. So some really cool plugins, or some really cool sounds. I keep saying plugins, I don't know why. Let's see this harpsichord. Let's see clavinet, music box, glockenspiel. You see the point. So now we have a bunch more sounds here. Let's see some violins. I could work with this. Let's bring this down. Of course, this will not be the highest quality of sounds you have, but at least it's something that you can work with. And if you are starting out, you probably don't have too much sounds in your system, and this could be a nice way to have some really cool new sounds. And as you can see, there are some usable sounds. I will not say that these are very the highest quality sounds you will find, but you can definitely start using. Let's see some drums. Okay, let's see what else we have here. There's a bunch of stuff that we could telephone one. Let me see this one. This is funny. Let's see if this has some pitch. Oh, it does have pitch. I could make a beat with this. That's fun. Let's see this door creaking. Yeah, this one is not so good. Scratch. As you can see, there's some helicopters. Let's see this one. Car engine. We have here some effects for free in this way. And let's see gunshot. Nice. Laser gun. This would be fun. Okay, let's stop having fun, at least with this one. As you can see, this is a very simple way that you can expand your sound library and have some effects here. I'm sure they have also some drums. As you can see, synth drums. They have reverse cymbals and stuff like that. So you can have a bunch of fun with these plugins here. And even because these are kind of lo-fi-ish or old school, you can also create some old school or lo-fi beats using these sounds here. And again, you load the Fruity LSD into your mixer, and then you load a MIDI out into your channel rack. You sync both ports, so port 1 here with port 1. You can also move this to port 10 and move this to port 10, and it still works. So the ports must be synced. If your ports are synced, the MIDI out will send information or will send data, MIDI data to your sound card that will reproduce this through FL Studio. So this is a very cheap way and a free way actually to get some extra sounds in your plugin installation, I guess. And it's a really cool way to get some new sounds, maybe some old school sounds to get that old school vibe or lo-fi vibe.